Alright, so just before I start this video, I want to let everybody know that this game is free. I do recommend checking it out. I personally had fun playing it. I only played through Act 2, so I only have about like 14 hours of gameplay. But I also wandered around a lot. I did a lot of bullshit. I wasn't fully playing for all 14 hours. I probably have about like 6 hours of actual serious game time. But I recommend you play it. It's very fun. I enjoyed it, and the reviews are way better now than they were, which just shows that people are finally coming to their senses and realizing this isn't trash. So today I was looking around on the Steam store, just looking at all the new deals and stuff because I'm kind of a cheapskate, so I will never buy a game if it is not on at least 50% sale. But I saw this new free 7 Deadly Sins game, and as somebody who has watched 7 Deadly Sins, albeit like 5 years ago, back when people weren't hating on the animation, I was kind of excited. I was like, man, a new game, and it's free, and it's like massive multiplayer. It's got role playing. It's a gacha game, which I'm not really a big fan of. But I'm like, it's free. I'll try it out. And then look at the reviews. Mostly negative with about 500 negative reviews. I was like, God damn. I was like, I don't know what they did, but they got to be messing something up. And then I looked at when it released. I was looking at it about 4 hours after it released. It was March 16th. I believe it released at 12 p.m. or 12 a.m., whatever, same thing. And at 4 p.m., I was checking out the game, mostly negative, with almost 500 negative reviews. And I seriously want to emphasize that this is free. So why there are hundreds of people bitching about a free game, I've got no clue. But I do like shit games, and I do like not spending money. So I was like, I might as well try it out, see what's really going on. While downloading the game, I decided to actually look at what the comments were saying, because obviously 500 people can't be wrong, right? There's got to be something going on. And very quickly, I noticed a theme of people talking about censorship. And I was like, what do you mean censorship? I'm like, they didn't censor them? No. People are mad that they covered up these little girls. And I mean little girls. I mean, technically, by like the bylaws, they're like a billion, quadrillion years old, but they look like little girls. And supposedly, and this is all supposed because I haven't actually seen like anything on the Steam store about it or any like articles about it. Not that there would be articles, it just released. But apparently in the beginning trailers, which I still have yet to see, there was no censorship. Completely naked, titties, boobs, vaginas, toes, all of it was out. So since that's where a majority of the negative reviews come, I can almost like understand where they're coming from. Not from the little girl aspect, of course. I don't believe in that. Sorry. But I almost see where they're coming from, right? Like if in the original trailers you're promised something, and then like a day or two before release, they decide to drop that off and be like, no, we're backing out of this. Then, I mean, of course, you're going to be a little bit upset. But a lot of the other comments were about, one, like the game running bad. A lot of people were saying that even with their strong computers, the game just didn't run. And a lot of people, because this is a Steam Deck compatible game, which I don't own a Steam Deck because it's like a $500 Switch, say that the Steam Deck says it can run it, and then when they download it, their Steam Deck just like explodes. Same thing with people with slightly older computers, and I mean, they were just complaining about it. They were saying that's like extremely pay to win, which I believe because it is a gacha game. Most gacha games do have a pay to win feature, even if it's not like directly pay to win. And there was just a lot of like average complaints about the game, like how it looks, the cutscenes, the story mode, like the world adventuring. Like people were just really complaining about every part of the game. Like if there's a part of the game that you can think of, people were saying it's bad or underdeveloped or like laggy, glitchy, unplayable basically. Now, I have a good computer. To be fully transparent, I've got a 5060 and a Ryzen 7 9850. So out there, I've got one of the better computers, I would like to think. I have spent a lot of my money on it. And even I ran into some problems off the start. There were multiple times where I would load up the game, it would freeze, it would give me an error, stuff like that. But after I got into the game and I lowered down the settings to like medium, I was able to run it smoothly at 250 FPS. Of course, during like boss fights and stuff, my FPS dropped a lot. So I can understand how some computers would just fry up. But I mean, it's a free game, so if you don't know if it's going to work, you might as well try it out. Steam also does have like the recommended settings or like computer parts. I'm not too sure how accurate that is because I'm pretty sure it said the recommended one was like a 2060 and like an Intel 5 processor or something. And I'm like, dude, that's kind of like fucking old. even my computer was struggling with it. And these are like brand new parts. So I don't really know how well you can trust that. So I would just say try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I hear that they are trying to optimize it. At least that's what they said in the patch notes, which came out, I think, yesterday as of now. Anyway, I keep talking. Now I'm going to talk about the actual game. First, when you get into the game, there is another 19 gigabyte like download that you need after downloading the game. So it's 22 gigabytes on the Steam page, and then once you get in, it's like another 19.5 gigabyte download. This was a little annoying because I downloaded it. I was like, yeah, I get to play. And I get in, and it's like, no, you need to download this as well. I was like, why wouldn't you just have that on the Steam page? Like, what's the point of having me have to download twice? Anyway, I want to forget that because I do want to go into this with a fresh perspective, so let's just forget that. Once you load in, as I could see by the combat, it is kind of mobile gamey-esque, right? Like, it's got all that stuff in the bottom right. It's really just button mashing. Like, no matter how far in you get, it's just spam left click, QER, swap characters. It does get more technical with like the typings and like abilities and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just like a fancier way to serve up button mashing, which isn't bad. I can't complain. I play a lot of Slop Roblox games in my free time, so this isn't like anything new to me. After they introduce us to basic combat, we get this little section where we're riding the dragon that it's Tristan and Tiora. So Tiora has her like pet dragon that she can summon. We're flying it down in this cave, and there's like all these vines and rocks and bats coming at us. So we've got to like fireball the bats and dodge the vines and the rocks. And it kind of reminds me of like one of those unblocked games I used to play, right? I think it's called Slop, where it's like you're going down and you keep getting faster and faster, and you've got to dodge all that stuff. It was pretty fun. The point where I'm at right now, which by the way, I only played up to Act 2. I'm pretty sure I said that. But it doesn't come up ever again. I hope it does at some point because it is one of the more enjoyable like mini games, I guess you would say, that they have. Anyway, as you might have been able to tell, or actually maybe not because I have the audio off on the videos now that I'm thinking about it, there is no English voice acting as of now. It is only Japanese, so you have to read the sub. Well, I think it's Japanese and Chinese, but I don't speak either of those, so you have to read the sub. And I saw a lot of people complaining about this. I don't personally find it a big problem. I do watch a lot of anime subbed, so it's nothing new to me, but I could see how this could be annoying, right? Having to read. That's lame as hell, guys. Who wants to do that? Now, enough of the jokes and giggles. There are some actual things that I have to address. Number one, you can't change the settings till after the tutorial. I know what you're thinking. The tutorial is done now, right? No, the tutorial is about 20 minutes long, and you cannot change the settings throughout any of it. You might be able to change the settings in the main menu. I just realized I don't think I checked that, but I'm pretty sure you can't because I saw quite a few complaints about it. This is only annoying because obviously if you want to mess with the settings, but also because they have the music and like audio right at 100. So for a full 20 minutes, I played with my headphones off because my ears were actually getting decimated by how loud it was. You can't turn it down at all until you get to the settings, which you only get 20 minutes in. So for 20 minutes, there's music blasting, the voice actors are loud, it's just absolutely aggravating. Anyway, after we get down into the cave, it is very follow the script kind of gameplay. You follow the cave throughout, and all of a sudden, oh my god, you find this medallion, right? I'll talk about it later. It's a magic medallion, you won't believe it. After you pick up the medallion, there's a boss, or a quote-unquote boss, right? It's like a beginner boss. And it's not just a problem with this boss, but all bosses I've faced up until Act 2, boring. You just spam and spam and spam, and then they die. I killed this beginner boss in like 20 seconds. I mean, it's a beginner boss. I don't know what I was expecting, but it's like the attack animations are slow and clunky, and I'm sure that this is fixed later on, right? I'm sure like once you get 30 hours into it, you've really got to think about what buttons to press. But I played for about 15 hours, and in those 15 hours, I killed multiple bosses. Like I did dungeons, I did raids, I did stuff like that. All of the bosses in it were about the same level of difficulty. Sure, they had more health, but I had better weapons, right? It felt like there was no real progression there. I felt like I just killed the bosses and I was done with it. It was super quick. There was no like actual thinking about it. This kind of annoys me because even if there is better bosses later in, I don't think you should wait 30 plus hours to put a boss with a cool mechanic into the game, right? The second boss you face, which you'll see, you like take him down with cannons, right? It's like, it feels like a Disney kind of thing, right? But if there are any cooler bosses other than that, I don't think you should hold them in your deck till 30 hours in. Because the majority of players aren't going to make it 30 hours if they think all the bosses are extremely boring. I feel like you should kind of show some of that a little early and be like, hey, we got cool bosses. You just got to play a little more to reach them. But the first 4 bosses I killed, same exact script. You go in there, spam a bunch of buttons, they die. It's super quick, super easy. You don't even have to think about it. It feels like there should be an AFK button, like an auto kill button, where you just press X on your keyboard and your character just runs in and does it yourself. Because there's no point in you actually playing. It's just spamming buttons and not even thinking. You can just face tank all of the damage. You don't even have to dodge. You can legitimately sit there, spam buttons, swap character, spam buttons. Anyway, I'm very passionate about good combat. I'm sorry. After you beat the boss, there is a puzzle portion of the game that you can do with your medallion. It's pretty cool. It is pretty basic from what I've seen so far, which again, I only have 15 hours of gameplay, but from what I've seen, it's a very basic puzzle mechanic. It's you step on pressure plates, or you make the lines match so that the mana can go through it. It's cool. It's something. It's better than nothing, I would say. But it's not like they reinvented the wheel of puzzle games. Not like that would be possible, because puzzle games have been out forever and people are always making new stuff for it. But they didn't do anything amazingly extravagant for the puzzles. Anyway, after you get out of the cave, you meet Hawk, Captain of Trash Disposal. I remember him from the anime. He's pretty cool. He's this little piggy that when he eats stuff, he transforms into the animal that he ate. He's pretty cool. He just kind of continues the tutorial, I would say. He tells us more about combat, and then he explains to us how to craft, and he also becomes a mount. And that is one thing that I really like about this game, and I want to emphasize, is the mounts. So in this game, there's quite a few mounts. Apparently, you can catch almost anything. And it does feel like Pokemon. You've got to injure them, and then you splash them with a potion, I guess, and you can tame them and raise them and become a mount. And the movement, it's a pretty big map. The movement is extremely good, and it feels nice. It feels pretty fluid. It feels like one of the parts of the game that is actually fleshed out, because the different mounts, they all work differently. They all have their own knack to them. But they feel smooth, and the way that you can move around buildings and just around the map in general feels nice. And that's another thing, is there's a lot of fast travel points as well, and I just personally enjoy I enjoy not having to run everywhere and it be a monotonous ass task. That's low-key what I hated with New World, the Amazon AAA production game, was the fucking movement was so awful, dude. It's you gotta run somewhere, then run back there, then run somewhere, then run back there. And your stamina keeps running out, and it's you have to eat berries to regain your stamina, and it's just awful. It's an awful experience. It just takes all of the fun out of the game. Anyway, I'm very good at going on tangents. What I really want to talk about is crafting. So, Hawk shows us how to craft, of course, and how it works is you press Z, and then you're able to place down this little workbench, right? Workbench takes nothing to place, right? It takes no wood, it takes no cloth, scraps, anything. You can just place it wherever. You can place as many as you want, wherever you want. You can't place them in dungeons or caves, but on the overworld, you can place them wherever and whenever. And how it works is you just take materials that you find around the world, right? You just walk up to them, press F, collect the material, then you can craft. You can craft potions. You can craft these potions to tame animals. It's cool, but I just don't like the workbench feature. What's the point of a workbench if it takes nothing to place down, right? You can place them whenever, wherever, like I said. So what's the point of having a workbench? Why wouldn't you just be able to craft in your inventory, right? And just make it you can't craft in caves. I just don't understand why they would put a workbench in the game if there's no point in using it. You can place it. It takes nothing to I don't know. It just confuses me. It actually mind boggles me why it's even there. Because there's no sacrifice or anything needed to place it down, which just makes it feel obsolete. I don't know. It might just be me nitpicking this game. The gacha system. As you can see right now, I'm doing a gacha pull. And this is basically what the game's about. The whole gacha. I think that the gacha look is cool, right? It looks shiny. A lot of people are complaining that it takes too long, but you can skip it. So I really don't know what their complaint is about. I haven't played many gacha games. I generally tend to stray away from them, because it's just not really my thing. But I'm a fan of this personally. I think it's cool how from the same pool, from the same gacha pool, you can get weapons and people. I like that idea, how it's not just like weapons on one, people on another, right? Like I feel like I don't know, I feel like it's a bigger pool, so there's more to want out of it, which might just be the gambler in me wanting to gamble more. But I feel like there's with more options, there's a lower chance of getting what you want, which makes when you get what you want more rewarding. They also give you 10 draws right off the rip, which I mean makes sense. They wouldn't make you like, I don't know, pay for it immediately. But I just like how it works. I might just, I don't know, it might just be because I don't play a lot of gacha games and I secretly like them. But I like how there's an interactive part. I like how it looks. I like the animation, like the effects, the sounds. I actually really like the sounds. I'm not playing them, but I think that the music in this game is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. This game in general, honestly, for being a free game, is insanely mind-blowing. Like, the animation, the music, the voice acting, they're not speaking English, but like the voice actors are like they're putting their heart and soul into this. You know what I'm saying? And I can really appreciate that because I enjoy these kinds of games. It does feel rushed and unpolished in quite a few parts, and I'm not done reviewing it yet. But just as an overall basis from what I've played so far, which is a lot more than I thought I was gonna play, I like this game. The reviews do not add up to what this game has in store. The amount of depth in this game is crazy. Like they made it sound, which is why you can never trust reviews. Because the reviews made it sound like it was a shallow pool, right? Shallow as fuck, nothing going on, mobile gotcha game, right? Like I'm not gonna hate on Battle Cats because I love Battle Cats, but they made it sound like a Battle Cats-esque gotcha game. Which, by the way, Battle Cats is deep as fuck, so that was just the only other gotcha game I could think of. But this game it's got a lot going on for it. I've never played Genshin personally, which I kind of feel like I should have before I made this because they said this is like a Genshin reskin. But if Genshin is like this, Genshin's not a bad game. The amount of stuff that you can fiddle with, like I spent probably like 3 or so hours filling out this thing that they have that's called the codex, which is basically the Pokedex of this game. And you get rewards for filling it out, and it feels so accomplishing. And I mean, I'm also a dork. I love filling out the Pokedex. Like, it's something, there's something so rewarding about filling it out completely and achieving, like, a goal like that. And this game has that, and I feel like not enough games have that. Of course, if more games had it, it wouldn't be as cool and special. But the fact that this game has it, I like. I feel like it's a cool, nice little feature that probably doesn't take too much to set up, but it's nice having that in there. It just feels like another thing that you can do. You know, like if you're bored or if you're lost or if you're not too sure on what the next step could be, you could be like, hey, I'll go fill out the codex real quick. I'll go fill out the codex on this island, or I'll go fill out the codex over here. You know, and while you're doing that, you can figure out what else you want to do. It's just another thing that you can do. You know, it's another part of the game. And I also feel like it will challenge people and cause people to go explore new areas, right? Because it's like you don't, or at least me personally, and I feel like people like me, they don't just want to leave their codex completely empty, right? Like if they're going through an area already, they'll feel the urge to fill out the codex in that area, which will cause them to explore and find new stuff and find hidden stuff. It's a good addition to the game. Now onto a less cheery topic is the pay to win feature, or the paywall in this game. There's not a direct paywall per se, right? Like there's not like you have to buy this guy, which you need to beat this boss. But you do need certain elementalists, I guess you would say, to progress further into the game. And for those elementalists, you need to pull them from a gacha. They do give you like base elementalists of each element, but they're not very good, right? They're base. So if you want better, you've got to pull them from a gacha. And this is also a problem with battle cats. You need certain cats to beat certain levels, but to get those certain cats, you have to pull them from a gacha, which requires RNG or money. That I am not a fan of, but it's a gacha game at the end of the day, right? Which means you have to rely on the gacha and your RNG, which isn't like preferred, but it's just how these games work, right? Like I'm pretty sure, or I would assume Genshin Impact has the same kind of thing, where it's like, yeah, you have the base elementalists for this type, but they suck. So why would you not drop a little bit of money, get a good elementalist, make it a whole lot easier? It's the same thing with Battle Cats in this. I think all gacha games have this problem collectively, and it's kind of unavoidable. Because if you could get the best person without the gacha, what's the point of the gacha system? Alright, now I just want to talk about some little things that I like. One thing is that you can change the world difficulty. There's 4 difficulties, 1 through 4. And by changing the difficulty, you get better rewards from the fights, right? I personally like this. I think this is cool, right? You can change the difficulty depending on your skill level, or like if you really want a drop, you can up the difficulty, clear this boss, and then lower it back down, right? Or vice versa, really depending on how you play. Anyway, now I'm about to talk about the main gimmick. So in the very first cave that we're in, you might remember, we get this pendant. It's called the Book of Stars. Alright, this is like a mysterious ancient pendant. It's discovered by Tristan and Tiora, which is our main characters, blue and pink hair. They're obviously the main characters. And it's the whole point, right? It changes up the world, it unleashes a portal. It's how we get Hawk back, because Hawk was in purgatory, according to what he said. So it messes up the world, right? It's like this world altering thing. It opens up portals to like the demon realm and purgatory and stuff like that. And throughout gameplay, you're able to level it up and upgrade it. So this is kind of like, it's kind of the puzzle piece, right? Or it helps you do puzzles, I guess is a better way. Because at the very start, like at level 1, you're able to pick stuff up and move stuff with it, right? At level 2, you're able to like fix stuff. You're able to like replay stuff, turn time back on it, and fix it. And level it up, it's able to help you do more and more difficult puzzles. This, it's cool. I'm kind of a fan of how it works. I really like this animation, by the way. I'm a big fan of the animation. But I like how you're able to upgrade it, right? The more puzzles you do, the stronger it gets, like the better you can level it up, right? The more up, there's like these little puzzle pieces around the map, I guess, that you can shine it up to and get XP from, right? You're able to level it up, get XP, get a stronger version of it, which helps you do more puzzles. Again, I just feel like having stuff like this is good for a game because it requires people to go explore, right? Of course, at some point, there's going to be a way to like min-max it, right? Where it's like, if you follow this route, you can max it out insanely quickly. But if you're just like a normal player who's not trying to like speedrun the game, it causes you to go explore, right? You want more puzzle pieces, you want to level it up, you're going to do more puzzles, which is going to lead you around the map. Now, on a sadder note or darker note, this game has a lot of cutscenes. This is one of the biggest complaints I've definitely seen from the comments and Steam reviews, is that there's too many cutscenes. There's not enough quality of life. There's a lot of cutscenes that you can't skip. I mean, there's quite a few that you can skip, but there's like a fat chunk that you can't. And I'm almost positive it's because it's quote unquote vital to the story, but I feel like you should just have the option to skip every cutscene, just because it can get pretty grueling. There's, especially at the start of the game, first like, I don't know, till like the tutorial's completely over, so first like 2 hours of gameplay, which by the way, I did that very slow. You can definitely get through the tutorial before 2 hours. There's a lot of cutscenes. Like, it's just running from one cutscene to the next, it feels like. And since the combat is so short-lived, because I feel like it's so underdeveloped, you feel like you fight for like 2 seconds, have an 8-minute cutscene. You know, you run somewhere in like 5 seconds because the mounts are so fast, and then 5-minute cutscene. It just feels like cutscene after cutscene. It feels like you're watching a movie. And the cutscenes are not as enjoyable because it's subtitles only, right? No American voice actors as of yet, or as of recording this video. So it's a lot of reading and trying to skip through it, and you can't skip through a lot of them. It gets a little daunting and monotonous. At a certain point of playing, you're like, God damn, dude, I've ran through 18 different cutscenes, and I don't know what any of them are fucking saying. I don't care what they're saying. Just get me out of here, right? Like, I almost like wanted to like log out of the game, because I'm like, I'm fighting for 5 seconds and I'm sitting in another cutscene. And it's like, what are these cutscenes possibly trying to fucking tell me? You know, it's like, is there not an easier way for them to convey this without putting me through 3 unskippable cutscenes back to back to back? But I want to end on a high note because I do actually really enjoy this game. I just want to preface before anything else, I did only play through Act 2, so I only have about, I think it's about 16 hours right now. But the multiplayer is what I want to end off on. The multiplayer is obviously a big part of this game. It is free to play, so anybody can play it. So the multiplayer is bound to be a big seller. And I think it works. The multiplayer has guilds. It has like community dungeon raids, community quests, stuff like that. And I like it. I did try to play through everything. So I did do a dungeon and I did do a boss raid. Now, I can't talk to how the party and guild system works because sadly don't have any friends to play this with, so I'm not sure how like clean and smooth that party aspect of it is. I would assume it's decent, if not like bad, but I'm going to pray that it's good because I have no input on that at all. But the dungeons they're fun. The one I played was, of course, like the basic one, so there was nothing too much to it. You just run through it, and then there's a timed boss fight. I think the timed boss fight is an alright aspect. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I have literally no opinion on it. It's cool. I had enough time to beat it, but I had the recommended strength. What I do like, however, is I do like the boss fight, or the boss raid, I guess how they call it. So basically, after you beat, like, as you can see right now, I'm fighting this guy in the fairy forest, right? After I beat him, his raid shows up, which means that at any point I can do it and I can get these special raid rewards. It's pretty nice. There is a big downside though. You only have 30 of these like mystical time warp keys to use for boss raids or dungeons, and every boss raid and dungeon takes 10 of them, and they take like physical IRL time to recharge. Of course you can spend money and recharge them faster, but if you're playing like realistically and you do 3 boss raids or 3 dungeons, then you have to wait like an hour and a half for it to recharge. Like a mobile game, it's legitimately like a mobile game. It's like you can either pay to recharge it. It's like Battle Cats again. It's your energy, right? I think that this is kind of an annoying thing. I understand why it's there, because otherwise people just like blast through dungeons and there's like a lot of rare rewards. So if people can just immediately get those and farm them, they're not rare. But I feel like there's probably another way to do it other than just straight cut people off and limit them, unless having them buy it, right? It could be like, I don't know, you do a few raids and then you have to do a quest or something. Again, that I'm just spitballing here, but I feel like limiting people and then putting a paywall there is not a cool thing to do. But other than that, I actually do like the dungeons. I do like the raids. I think the guilds look cool, and there already seem to be some guilds popping up. And from what I've seen so far, the reviews are actually going up because it's now the next day, and the reviews are now mixed instead of mostly negative. So people are seeing this game for what it is, which is a good game. And also one quick thing, that's multiplayer over. The outfits and the cutscenes. Just want to circle back to this real quick. In the cutscenes, no matter which character you are, it's always going to be Tristan or the other girl, right? The character you have will never show up in the cutscene, which is a little bit annoying in my opinion. And also the clothes you put on don't actually show on your character, but they bypass that by, there's this girl, her name's like Clothy or something, or like Clotho. And you can talk to her and you can get new outfits. As you can see, my Tristan is a different outfit than he was before, because you can craft certain outfits with like gear that you can find around the map or gear that you can craft. You can go talk to Clotho and get a new outfit. And this new outfit does show up in cutscenes, which I'm a fan of. So even though like what you wear and the characters you have don't show up in the cutscenes, you can change how your character looks, which I like. I think it would have been pretty lame if you couldn't change how they looked at all. But they did bypass that. It is a little annoying because every character only has so many outfits, so you can't really like make your own outfit. You have to choose from selected ones that they already have, but it's better than nothing. Anyway, that's really all I have to talk about. I reviewed as much as I could. I'm tired, so I'm gonna get this out. But please install the game. It's free. I would recommend doing it with some friends. Again, I don't know how good the multiplayer is, so let me know if it's all right. But it's free. You don't lose anything. This could be the next big thing. This could be the Fortnite killer. But yeah, enjoy.